Today I'm going to be doing a review of the Discovery Sport, and it's the 2025 model. So this is the 2000cc version, which has the MHEV engine, which is technically like an electric hybrid, but the car itself is not hybrid. It's just a design of engine which has a small electric motor to just assist with the few electronics in the car. So I have been driving this car for the last like 9 months, almost every single day, and it's a very good car. I really like it. I've grown to like it. I think initially I was apprehensive about the design, but generally how it drives, it's very cool. So a few things about the car itself, the features. I have my list so that I can just confirm. So it has the heated steering wheel, which was an extra 230 pounds, and it has the 3D surround camera, which was another extra 585 pounds, and the final option was the spare wheels, which is 170 pounds. Then of course, because of the color, that's another 700 pounds. So of course, I mean, you can go crazy with all the different options that you want on this car. And let's talk about the design of the car. So starting with the front grille, I like that Land Rover in general have perfected their design across all their different cars. It's not a shouting grille, it's very minimal, well, according to what I think, compared to something like BMW, which has really gone overboard with their grills. Like, I mean, it's crazy sometimes when you just see a BMW coming towards you. Then there you have your standard 19-inch tires, which, you know, nothing much talk about there. And you have your side profile. I'm kind of on the fence if I like it or not, but I'd say it's good enough for the side profile of the car. I like the color in general, starting with the black, gray, then you have the black. So yeah, quite a subtle design that is. My least favorite part of the car though has to be the boot. I don't know, there's just something about it which looks or feels unfinished. I don't know if maybe it's just because of how it's carved. I feel like if it was a straight line, maybe boxy design, I'd probably like it more. But yeah, I know that is going to be divided. People will have different opinions. So yeah, this to me is the least favorite part of the car. And since we are already back here, let's talk about the boot. I mean, this is a very spacious boot. The car itself is not the base version, neither the high-end version, it's the mid-base version. So it doesn't have the automatic, you know, the one where you do that and then it opens. But yeah, I mean, this is a very spacious boot. I'm maybe 5'10", and as you can see, I can fit perfectly here. So if you have, I don't know, maybe like 2 huge dogs, they can fit in here perfectly. Then you have a 12-volt charger back there, which you can connect and charge a lot of stuff, especially let's say if you're a person who likes going camping, or I don't know, you just went away somewhere and you need to charge other devices. And finally, you have your parcel shelf, which, yeah, set it up like that, and you know, acts like a good divider where you can put more of a heavy stuff here and just a few light stuff on top there. And of course, for more storage, you can collapse the seats like that, and you see, oh, it's getting stuck. Yeah, and once those collapse down, I mean, look at that, even more storage. I actually think one day I'm going to go camping and just sleep inside the car to try it out. That should be fun. Now let's go inside and review the interior of the car. So back here, 3 seats, which is standard for most cars, and you have that which is an armrest, and also there's 2 cup holders, and there's a secret compartment. Not really secret, but yeah, you can put some stuff here, which I feel like if I was to put anything here, I'll completely forget that it even exists. But yeah, that's nice. I didn't even need to sit at the center or the middle of the car. That is also very good space, good legroom. And yeah, finally the third seat, with this seat further backwards, you can also see there's still very good legroom. I'd say the beauty of sitting back here has to be this skylight. I mean, it's very beautiful, especially when the weather is perfect, like when it's raining or when there's snow, or yeah, when you're just like on a very good drive, like here in Glencoe with the mountains, and you're driving through the valleys. It's very very stunning. You get to appreciate this. Although as a driver or passenger at the front, I don't think it's something you get to look at often. There is two charging ports back here, which are both Type C. So fast charge, of course, and we have a cigarette lighter, which no one smokes nowadays, but yeah, you can use that as a cigarette lighter, or you can connect another power brick there to charge more devices. There's more compartments here where you can use to store stuff. And yeah, I mean, it's a very very nice car, to be honest. Some lights, and we have Meridian speakers, but we'll come back to talk about the speakers later on. And now let's talk about the driving position. So I mean, first, the seats. These seats are very very comfortable, even for long drives. I've done several long drives, like all the way here to Glencoe or down to Manchester, and I mean, you never really feel like you're tired even after driving for like 3-4 hours plus. So I really like it. I like the headrest, which is very supportive and also very thick. So yeah, very good driving position. Another thing about here is we have your armrest, which unfortunately I don't like that it doesn't move forward or backwards, but again, you know, you can't get everything. And yeah, very very spacious storage. And there you have your two cup holders. I like that this is detachable, which means you can like wash it if you need to do that, and there's lots of storage in here. Then you have your USB-C port, and this one does control the Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, so that is good. And then on this other side you also have two other Type C's, but these are only for charging. Below that you have your charging mat. Unfortunately, this never works with my phone for whatever reason, unless I remove the phone cover, so I wouldn't really rely on it. And you have another storage space here for just another place to put random things which you'll probably lose. And then on this side, you have your bread basket. I think it's called a bread basket. I think I forgot the name. And yeah, you can put a few things in there. And then you have some nice stitching, which is very nice, very minimal, and also with the silver, it does complement it very well. And yeah, very very nice minimal finishing, which I like with the Land Rover especially design, and also the Jaguar F-Pace which we had previously. It had a very nice minimal design, and even if you look at the screen which they have, it's a very good size, very well integrated into the console. It doesn't look like an afterthought, you know, like how when you see cars like, I think Toyotas have theirs popping up here, which sometimes I find it very distracting, but I think this is the best implementation of the screen I have seen in any car so far. Now moving on to these doors. These doors are very very heavy, which helps with the noise isolation. I mean, we are literally next to the main road, but you can't hear the cars that much, especially once you close all the doors. It's very very quiet in here. Of course, it's going to be affected with these skylight, because it's glass, therefore not very good at blocking sound compared to if it was just fully covered. But I mean, that's a very very small disadvantage, to be honest. The thing that confuses me the most about the layout here is to lock the doors or to unlock the doors, the buttons are down here, but then for the mirrors or the windows, not the mirrors, the windows, they are up here. So if you move from another car and you switch to this one, personally I find it very confusing. I mean, it's been 9 months with this car plus, and I still keep getting confused because I keep trying to press down here to open the the windows. Other thing which is also maybe a bit surprising is there's no blind spot sensors on these side mirrors. That is an extra option for the high-end cars. So I mean, that's just bizarre, to be honest. It's what companies are doing nowadays, where they will try to squeeze the last bit of money from you by selling you more and more options. Very nice steering wheel with paddle shifters, which I've never used because I don't know what their point is. Literally, you can just put your gear lever to sport mode and that's it. You might only need this unless, I don't know, you need to just be in one gear for a very long period of time. which I don't know which road here in the UK you need to do that. And now let's talk about this infotainment system. So like I said, it supports both Android CarPlay and also Google Auto, and it's very quick to connect using your phone wirelessly, or you can just connect the cable there, and also it switches. So in case you need to switch to a different phone very quickly, probably you're better off just using the cable. When you move from different cars, whether it's the Discovery or the Jaguar or the Range Rovers, everything is very uniform, or even the bigger car, the Defender, everything is very uniform, everything is where you know it's supposed to be, so it makes it very easy to jump between cars. The only big issue with this infotainment system, I'd say, is compared especially to the Jaguar F-Pace, is they got rid of a few buttons. Now things like controlling the heated seats, you have to come here to the screen to turn it on or off, and same goes for changing the climate of the car. You have to keep pressing this touch screen, and there's no haptic feedback, so that, I'd say, personally I think is a terrible design compared to just having physical buttons where you can just turn the knobs, you know, on off. It's easy, because whenever I try to change any of these things, I have to stop looking at the road just very briefly to confirm if I'm pressing the correct button. So that is my biggest problem with this infotainment system. Other than that, I think I did a video of the Range Rover Evoque, and I also did the F-Pace, so I don't think I'm going to dwell much into this system because it's literally the same thing. The only other thing about this car is it has more modes, especially when it comes to things like off-road, where you can select whether you want to be on the hill descent control, all-terrain program, because this car is all-wheel drive. So yeah, there you go, you can have your off-road modes. Again, this is one of those features which, to be honest, they're good to have, but for the country we are in, I feel like they're kind of a waste, because you don't get to use much of these four-wheel drive features that much. Maybe we should start exploring places where you can go and do like a bit of off-road. That will be good. Let's talk about the speakers. This car has Meridian speakers, which sound very good. They're actually very good. I like them. I actually like them more compared to the previous F-Pace, which had the Bose speakers. The music from the speakers is very well balanced. The surround system is very, very good, whether you're seated at the front or seated at the back. So again, there isn't much more extra really I can talk about this car, because it's very, very similar to the F-Pace and the Evoque, which I've already done reviews previously. And now it's time to go for a quick drive for the final bits about the car. The people at Land Rover say the best way to use this infotainment system is to use your voice. So let's say I want to change it back to 23 degrees. So, hey Land Rover, change the temperature. Oh, it doesn't do. Hey Land Rover, change the temperature to 23 degrees.
Setting vehicle temperature to 23 degrees.
And there it is, it has done that. Then maybe I'd want to change the heated seats to level 1. Hey Land Rover, change the heated seats to level 1. It probably doesn't know what that means, so you have to learn the commands. Therefore, that's probably why I don't use the voice system a lot. But there is the CarPlay connected, so I'm using WAS, and yeah, you can see you have all your different apps. Very convenient. So yeah, I mean, it's common, it's more standard now with a lot of the cars. When it comes to the driving experience itself, this car drives very, very, very well. It's one of the better cars I've driven, I'd say, my entire life. So when you're doing like cornering, it's very stable. You don't feel like the body is detached from the wheelbase, which is something very common with especially bigger cars like the CX-5s, if you drive the Toyota Prados, and yeah, even the Jaguar F-Pace. Whenever you drove it, you just felt like something is off, especially when you're turning a corner. And I'm not talking about like very high-speed cornering, just like normal cornering at maybe 40 miles an hour. And yeah, look at that, very comfortable driving angle. My hand has a very nice rest place, and also on this other side with the armrest, that's very good. So yeah, it's quite comfortable. I drive this car. I think one day it will be fun to do maybe from Edinburgh to London. That should be a good road trip, all the way down and also coming back up. And maybe during that trip, maybe put some mattress at the back, and that can be like a good camping car trip. That's a nice Defender. Yeah, I mean, I really love Glencoe. Like, if you look at all the hills with the snow, it's such a beautiful place. Even though I was expecting a lot more snow, but yeah, unfortunately, the weather has other plans. So when it comes to the steering wheel, there's several dials here, and some of them are touch. So let's start on this side where we have the cruise control. I rarely use the cruise control because it's more of a lane assist. It will keep you in the lanes. If you try to go off, like what I'm doing, it's supposed to give you some beeping. And you can also turn it off if you want. So that turns off. Right now it's on high. Then I've changed it to make custom, and then you have the low. Therefore, it tends to disable most of the features, like all the beeping, especially when you are just slightly going off the lane, or if you're literally just 1 mile above the speed limit. It starts to also beep a lot. So personally, I tend to just turn them off. I like to have more control of the car itself. This button here, you have your heated steering wheel, which you just press it once, and it takes some time, but once it gets the steering warm, that tends to be quite comfortable, especially during this winter, in the morning hours when the temperature is like 0 degrees. You have your speed limiter, which you can use if you have, let's say, a heavy foot. And the limiter does different things. You can either set it to limit the speed. Let's say you can limit it to 60 miles per hour, or if you want, you can just set it to disable the gas pedal. So basically, even if you press it as hard as possible, it's not going to tamper with the speed once you reach the speed limit that you set it for. If you don't want to say the whole hey thing to turn on the voice control, you can also just press this button. So let me just do that once, and there it comes up, and I can say reduce the temperature to 22 degrees. I don't know if it's... Oh yeah. Because I was also talking, which is fine anyway. You have your volume rocker button there, and also you have your media control, so basically forward, backwards, and you also have your cancelling or answering of phone call. Then you have this diamond button. It looks like a diamond, and this is for your shortcut. So one press, you can give it a command. Like if you press it once, it gives you one action. If you long press it, it gives you a different action. So for this case, it's empty. There is nothing that I've configured, because again, you can create different profiles. So I have my own profile, which I've customized, whereby once I select my profile, everything turns to what I've set it for. For example, the seats will adjust, and actually only the seats, and maybe the steering wheel if you've also adjusted that. And I think the last thing about this car will be the app control. So you can download the Land Rover app or the Discovery app, which you can use to, let's say, turn on the car, and you can preheat the car, which has been very helpful again this winter. So just set it up for like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, then at least everything has defrosted and you're ready to go. The car is nice and warm. And you can also lock the car, unlock the car, for example, if you forget your keys. So yeah, it's one of those very good conveniences. Of course, there is the security aspect, which is debatable, because some people will argue that it makes the car more vulnerable, therefore, to things like hacking, especially since there's been a lot of cases of especially Range Rovers being stolen. So I don't know if maybe those features also kind of make the hacking quite easy, because I mean, if there's a software to be controlled, eventually someone can also control it. And that's everything that I can think of about this car. So far, it has been a very, very good car. And if I was to give it out of 10, I'd give it, I think, a solid 7.5 out of 10. Yeah. With the annoyances only being mainly on the infotainment system. But other than that, I can't think of anything else where I'd fault it. So far, as the Scottish say, touch wood, nothing has gone wrong, which you don't expect anything to go wrong anyway for a car that has only done 8,000 miles now. So yeah, it's been good, and Enough rambling, and yeah, see you in the next video. Here's the thing, the Range Rover is probably the most imposing car on our roads today. It's one of those cars which has been iconic, and I think it will remain to be very iconic for a very long time. And the reason for this is because unlike a Rolls-Royce or Porsches and other very high-end cars, a Range Rover is one of those cars which you look at and you think to yourself, I can actually afford to buy that. You might just need, to put more extra work and get a promotion, and that's it, you afford one. Or you can get a compensation from a workplace injury, or just a slight push of your stepfather who just signed you into the wheel, and that can help you buy a Range Rover. Because of this, the Range Rover has been one of those cars which so many companies have tried to imitate. I mean, you can literally buy a fake Range Rover from Alibaba for only £4,000. But the car that I'm going to be reviewing today, you don't need all this fake bling because it's a car that stands its own ground.